second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express.
Celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7. I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time you can try our 3-pack absolutely free. Or check out our Percale bed sheets. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes, only $29.88, even the queens and kings. Inventory is extremely limited, so order now.
That's right, folks. Order now. Welcome back to the Oreo Express. Josh here. Thank you for tuning in today. And don't forget, Christmas is right around the corner. Get the presents from mypillow.com. You get to help out our platform here, a great America First company, and Mike Lindell. So go check them out. Go to mypillow.com. Use promo code Oreo. You'll get substantial discounts and savings, guys. Well, happy Thursday. A happy Thursday. We're almost to the end of the week. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, from Dick Cheney's funeral to a little sedition tweet or post or truth that Donald Trump did. We're going to talk about all that and highlight some of the hypocrisy. We also have, we covered this last night on our premium. We have a congressman or congresswoman, Sheila Cheerfulness McCormick, under investigation for stealing $5 million in FEMA funds, and there is now calls to expel her. So we'll see. We know what they did to George Santos before he was convicted and guilty. We've seen it time and time again. So we're going to follow up and talk about all that. Let me jump into the comments really quick. Let's see who we got over here. We got Sugar Bear, Jay Lynn, Shane. Let's see, Carol Burton's in the house. Deb V, hello. Nola, real sweet. Old Uncle Bill, Renee. Got Texas Bigfoot. Jan Garner, how are you doing, Jan Garner? Let's see who else is hopped in here. B Mikey, hello. Let's see. Julius is in the house. Let me get down to the bottom here. L. Ralphie, how are you doing? Shelly Rose. TBF, Texas Bigfoot. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you all tuning in. If you could hit that like button, share this out. We can't do it without y'all. You're the ones that make all this possible. I rearranged some of this where my screens are, where things are placed on the different screens. So we're going to see how I do today. See if we can do all right. But let's get into it. Let's start talking. Oh, and then I got to remember to show you this at the end. This was great. I want to tell you that at the end. It was something I was sent. Let's see here. So we got Dick Cheney's funeral, and of course Donald Trump or VP Pence is not in attendance. but I seen this quick clip and I wanted to show it, excuse me, show it to you all. Poor Biden, man. Poor Biden. Poor a lot of these people. There is nobody in this front row that I think are patriots or whatever you want to call some of these people. But take a look here. Let's get this up on here. Look at that warmonger. I look at that whole front row right there, and the first thing that came to mind was Uniparty. Those people, pretty much all globalist, the elitist, that did nothing really for the American people. A lot of those people talked a lot of game. A lot of those people were in it for themselves and the globalist. And I seen that today, and I was just glad that Trump wasn't there. Man, again, prayers to the family of Dick Cheney. I think we know we've gotten to see who Dick Cheney was. For the younger generation that wasn't around for Dick Cheney, they've got to see his spawn, which was Liz Cheney. And again, globalist, more on the Democrat Party side than the American people side. Wouldn't know what America First was if you slapped them with it. And just insane. Just insane. But prayers to the family, not wishing any harm or anything on anybody there. I just say, man, we've dodged some bullets. We've dodged some bullets. And we went through some hard times. Check this out. A story came out, I think it was yesterday. Very similar to the Jussie Smollett, but this is because this woman here, and why she would do this to herself. She's a very beautiful woman. Is being dubbed the MAGA Jussie Smollett. Natalie Green, a GOP aide, is facing 10 years in prison for allegedly staging her own kidnapping and assault and writing Trump whore on her own body. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole details. I just thought this is part of the clown world today. But let me take a look at this. This woman literally, I think, paid $500 for somebody to carve in Trump whore on her. Did other stuff to herself, like pretty much self-mutilated herself, and what tied herself up, or had accomplice help tie her up, and was faking this entire ordeal right here. Let me put this up on the screen for you. You can see, very beautiful girl. But if you look over here and you look at some of the marks, and then down here, let me clear this off and put this back up there. You can see down here, she is like bound with some zip ties. They even found the exact same zip ties in her vehicle. Man, someone's screaming for help right here. We need to make mental institutions great again. And this is one. Again, she's being dubbed the MAGA Jussie Smollett. Remember that? MAGA country. That man made MAGA country famous. We got the MAGA country t-shirt from Will Johnson shortly after all those fake things. But I was looking at this and I was like, holy cow, what is wrong? Now, we covered this last night, but we're going to cover it again today. It was in the premium life, so not all of you got to see it on the other platforms. The the most intelligent person, Rep. Jasmine Crockett, literally went on the House floor and was speaking. And they're trying to defend, because now a lot of information is coming out through the Epstein files and through things like that, people searching that Democrats were highly involved, which we knew. We knew this guy donated Jeffrey Epstein over the years, 89% of his campaign contributions went to Democrats and progressive causes. So we knew this was coming. I think this could be that backfire moment. And don't get me wrong, there'll be some Republicans in there or some big money backers to the Republican Party that'll probably be tied up in the Epstein files too. But I just want you to listen to this, how once it was called out that some of the Democrats literally won when they were having a Get Trump House hearing. Remember how we covered that all the time. Every day there was another hearing on getting Trump. He's bad. We need to impeach him. I mean, two failed impeachments in his first go around as president for President Trump. And now we had one that was texting Jeffrey Epstein when the Michael Cohen hearing was going on. And all of a sudden, he's no longer a sexual predator. He is a constituent. It's funny how that happens. Take a listen to Jasmine Crockett, and I'm going to show you this really quick. And tell me, and we're going to get how CNN asked her a question.
Folks who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly: Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red.
See how she said Lee Zeldin took money from Jeffrey Epstein, but she'll clarify that because, again, we're just looking for propaganda right now. We're just looking for propaganda. We're not looking for truth or facts. Again, it's a mud throwing competition with the Democrats. They're trying to make Republicans, anybody in Trump's cabinet, look bad. Oh, this person's evil, because they are doing an incredible job. We're going to talk about the job numbers here in a minute. And so Jasmine Crockett was on CNN, and I want you to listen to when they're called out. There's no accountability. There's no nothing. Take a listen to this. You guys are going to laugh. Let me put this on the big screen here and take a look at this. So
responded and said it was actually Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, who's a doctor secretary. He responded and said it was actually Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, who's a doctor that doesn't have any relation to the convicted sex trafficker. Unfortunate for that doctor, but that is who donated to a prior campaign of his. Do you want to correct the record on the people that?
Listen, I never said that it was that Jeffrey Epstein. Just so that people understand, when you make a donation, your picture is not there. And because they decided to spring this on us in real time, I wanted the Republicans to think about what could potentially happen, because I knew that they didn't to go through the FEC. So my team, what they did is they Googled, and that is specifically why I said a Jeffrey Epstein. Unlike Republicans, I at least don't go out and just tell lies.
So we're going to listen to that again. This is the Democrat Party in a whole right here. She's saying they didn't go out and tell lies. There was no lies being told by the Republican. Stacey, the one that is a representative for the Virgin Islands, she literally was texting convicted Jeffrey Epstein during a hearing, going back and forth, and those texts have become public. That's acknowledged now. I think it was the Washington Post that actually went back to the video from 2019 when you see her looking down and texting, and confirmed that at that same exact minute matched the text messages. So there was no lies. The lie was with you, and you just got called out because this is the, I'll say it, seditionist things that Democrats do. But just listen again when she's called out instead of so think about this. This is what they can do. Find a Jeffrey Epstein. You can go look, there's thousands of Jeffrey Epsteins. So if I meet a Jeffrey Epstein tomorrow, they could say I'm connected with Jeffrey Epstein. This guy could be 25 years old, a rocket engineer for SpaceX. And they're going to try to equate that to being connected with the actual Jeffrey Epstein that we're all talking about. And she knows this. She knows this, but just listen. Let me put this back on the screen really quick. Gotta get used to the screens over here.
Secretary, he responded and said it was actually Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, who's a doctor that doesn't have any relation to the convicted sex trafficker. Unfortunate for that doctor, but that is who donated to a prior campaign of his. Do you want to correct the record on the people that
Listen, I never said that it was that Jeffrey Epstein, just so that people understand when you make a donation, your picture is not there. And because they decided to spring this on us in real time, I wanted the Republicans to think about what could potentially happen, because I knew that they didn't to go through the FEC. So my team, what they did is they Googled, and that is specifically why I said a Jeffrey Epstein. Unlike Republicans, I at least don't go out and just tell lies. Because it was not the same one, that's fine. But when Lee Zeldin had something to say, all he had to say was it was a Jeffrey Epstein. He admitted that he did receive donations from a Jeffrey Epstein. So at least I wasn't trying to mislead people. Now, have I dug in?
I wasn't trying to mislead people, folks. She actually probably believes this. This is demented. This is a sick way to have your mind.
To find out who this doctor is, I have not. So I will trust and take what he says is that it wasn't that Jeffrey Epstein, but I was not attempting to mislead anybody. I literally had maybe 20 minutes.
So she only had 20 minutes, so she could just throw dirt and mud and hope it sticks.
Before I had to do that debate.
Yeah, but people might see that and say, well, you're trying to make it sound like he took money from
I did not know.
a registered sex offender.
No, but I literally did not know. When you search FEC files, and that's what I had my team to do, I texted them and I said, listen, we're going up. They are saying that she took donations.
Right, but someone might say, well, you're...
But it wasn't a lie. When the Republicans, they had the proof. They didn't find a Jeffrey Epstein in Hawaii that's donated. They found the actual Jeffrey Epstein.
Your team should have done the homework to make sure it wasn't the convicted sex trafficker.
Within 20 minutes, you could not find that out, not from just doing a quick search on FEC. So number one, I made sure that I was clear that it was a Jeffrey Epstein, but I never said that it was specifically that Jeffrey Epstein, because I knew that we would need more time to really dig in.
Well,
that man, you want to talk about, this is why Trump calls her low IQ. I'm just going to get into it right there. It was very deceptive. And again, in politics, a lot is deceptive. I'm not saying this, but this tells me that they are worried, that they are having to come out and lie right away when evidence is finally coming out. Hakeem Jeffries solicited donations from Jeffrey Epstein, invited him to all this stuff. Well, we're going to get into Jeffrey Epstein and our Trump's True Social post here in a minute, but we've been covering some things in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and the ties to terrorism. There is ties to terrorism. How about this? This was from Libs of TikTok. It says millions of Minnesota tax dollars have been funneled to a terrorist organization in Somalia using autism claims through Medicaid. It says autism, and we kind of covered this. There was they said about, I think it was 6 weeks ago, we covered, and they said they wanted to know why all of a sudden in that state, autism treatment centers and claims spiked like some thousands of %. And so they're getting down to the bottom. Again, waste, abuse, and fraud is what the Trump administration is really working hard to curtail. It says autism treatment centers spiked in the state, with many opened up by the Somali community. Autism claims in the Somali community then rose to triple the state's average. causing claims and payments to surge. Somalians then used that money to fund a Somali-based terror group, Al-Shabaab. And this is the article in reference here. Let me put that up here. It says, much like the HSS program, autism claims to Medicaid in Minnesota have skyrocketed in recent years from 3 million in 2018 to 54 million in 2017 or 2019, 77 million in 2020, 183 million in 2021, 279 million in 2022, and 399 million in 2023. Meantime, the number of autism providers in the state spiked from 41 to 328 over the same period, with many in the Somali community establishing their own autism treatment centers, citing the need for culturally appropriate programming. Whenever you hear that, you know it's fraud. By the time the fraud scheme was exposed, 1 in 16 Somali 4-year-olds in the state had reportedly been diagnosed with autism, a rate more than triple the state average. So there's going to be some people being charged. There's going to be some interesting stuff, to say the least, going on there. Okay, let's get into the economy a little bit. U.S. economy added 119,000 jobs in September. The unemployment rate rose because now people, guess what they're doing? They're trying to get in the workforce like never before. I want to play this quick clip, and then we'll show you how they're trying to spin this as bad, of course. But take a listen to this.
You might say, well, if the economy added so many jobs, why did the go up? It's because more people came off the sidelines and were actively looking for work in the month of September. When you're looking for work, you're actually counted among the unemployed. You might say, well,
so that's one thing a lot of people don't realize. People think people are that are sitting at home on their beanbag chairs are considered unemployed. They're actually not. It's when you start and actually actively start looking for work. And we have this one here. I also want you to listen to this, and then a statement from the Trump team, because again, part of putting America first is having American-born citizens work and not foreign nationals. And something I think we should all be able to get behind. But take a listen to this right here. I keep going to the wrong screen up there. Got to get used to this. I might put it back.
But to Steve Moore's points about the consumer remaining strong and still spending, not only is the consumer still spending, the consumer is paying their bills on time. So when you look at credit card delinquencies, 30-plus day delinquencies, they're at only 1.3%, and they're ticking lower. The average between 2013 and 2019 was 1.6. So we're seeing consumers spend, even when they are racking up debt, they are paying their bills. We're in a good situation. And when you look at economic growth, forecasted economic growth out of the Atlanta Fed GDP Now number, we're looking at a projection of plus 4.2%. And if we're not adding a ton of jobs, obviously a lot of that's going to be coming from enhanced productivity. A lot of that could be AI. But I would say, as far as the macro landscape looks, we're looking pretty healthy.
Looking pretty healthy. That's a good sign. And when they talk about people that are delinquent on their credit card payments, we covered that about 2 years ago. How many people were behind on credit card payments? You know, they kept saying the economy was good under Joe Biden, but the data showed otherwise. Average everyday Americans were behind on car payments. I think repos were at might have been a historic high under Joe Biden. And again, slowly but surely, we're pulling out of that. The ship's coming out of the water. It was submerged. It was down there with the Titanic. And now we see at least part of that ship coming above water. It's going to take some time, though. We know that. And Rapid Response 47 tweeted this out. And it says, since President Trump took office January through September, 2.57 million, 2.5 million native born Americans gain employment. 1.1 million foreign born workers lost employment. Says a little more than 2.5 million native born Americans joined the labor force, and almost 1.25 million foreign born workers left the labor force. Remember, under Joe Biden, the people that were gaining employment were not born in the United States. Most of them, most of the jobs created under Joe Biden were paid for by you, the taxpayer, government jobs. You don't see that under Trump. He made a comment last month, I think it was, that he could have the greatest number of jobs created if he just did what Joe Biden, just have the government hire workers, 87,000 IRS workers, all this other stuff. That's paid for by me and you. That costs us money. That's not the private sector. And I think that's pretty huge. In other news, last night, Trump signed the bill to release the Epstein files. I believe, and I didn't do a whole lot of research because I'm just going over this. Well, we might talk about it a little more in our second show today. But this was his tweet, and we'll put this up on the board for you and read it out. Let's pop it up here. It says Jeffrey Epstein, who was charged by the Trump Justice Department in 2019, not the Democrats, was a lifelong Democrat, donated thousands of dollars to Democrat politicians, and was deeply associated with many well-known Democrat figures, such as Bill Clinton, who traveled on his plane 26 times, Larry Summers, who just resigned from many boards, including Harvard, sleazebag political activist Reid Hoffman, minority leader Hakeem Jeffries, who asked Epstein to donate to his campaign after Epstein was charged, Democrat Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett, and many more. Perhaps the truth about these Democrats and their association with Jeffrey Epstein will soon be revealed, because I have just signed the bill to release the Epstein files. As everyone knows, I asked Speaker of the House Mike Johnson and Senate Majority Leader John Thune to pass the bill in the House and the Senate, respectively. Because of this request, the votes were almost unanimous in favor of passage. At my direction, the Department of Justice has already turned over close to 50,000 pages of documents to Congress. Do not forget, the Biden administration did not turn over a single file or page related to Democrat Epstein, nor did they ever even speak about him. Democrats have used the Epstein issue, which affects them far more than Republican Party, in order to try to distract from our amazing victories, including the great, big, beautiful tax cut bill. Strong borders, no men and women's sports or transgender for everyone, ending DEI, stopping Biden's record-setting inflation, lowering prices, biggest tax and regulation cuts in history, ending 8 wars, rebuilding our military, knocking out Iran's nuclear capabilities, getting trillions of dollars invested in the USA, creating the hottest country anywhere in the world, and even delivering a huge defeat to the Democrats on the recent shutdown disaster. For years, our great nation has had to endure Russia, Ukraine, impeachment hoax number 1, impeachment hoax number 2, and many other Democrat-created witch hunt and scams, all of which have been so terrible and divisive for our country and have been done to confuse, deflect, distract from the great job that Republicans and the Trump administration are doing. The latest hoax will backfire on the Democrats just as all of the rest have. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. So that was his post from last night. Obviously, I believe Pam Bondi said she will have them released within 30 days. At least that's what I'm hearing. I didn't go to Pam Bondi's page and look that up, but I was kind of interesting. Let me see if I can find this video. I didn't put it up, but I want to look for it now that I'm thinking about it. Stephen Miller. No, Stephen Miller? Not Stephen Miller. Who's that dude? Let me see if it pops up when I do this. Oh, man, I'm just drawing a blank on his name. Black sports commentator that don't toe the line with the Democrats. Anyways, he was on there and he's like, I think the Democrats just stepped in it. I think the Democrats just stepped in it. He's like, I think that Trump did this on purpose. And he goes, at least that's what they're saying. Trump did this on purpose to get the Democrats only talk about that. Smith, there you go. Thank you. Oh, it's not coming up with that either. Let's see. If I spelt his first name, it's PH, not V. You guys are good. Look at all those people. I don't even need Google anymore. Okay, listen to this.
I'll sign to open the files. No problem. And the first words that came to my mind was, uh-oh. He did something that I didn't see coming. He said, to hell with it, open the files. I'll sign to open the files. No problem. And the first words that came to my mind was, uh-oh. Because Donald Trump is not going to do that if it's going to be something that significantly hurts Donald Trump. He's going to do it if, dare I say, he's got something on other people. Because that is who we know him to be, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it is. There's no way around this. And sure enough, one of the first names that came out was Larry Summers, who worked as the Treasury Secretary under the Clinton administration, who worked on economic policies for Barack Obama, who was religiously associated with the left, who was still teaching at Harvard, and then ultimately had to step back and step away from public settings and things of that nature, scale back his role within the last 24 hours because he was one of the names that appeared in the Epstein files. He was somebody that knew Epstein. He was somebody that kept in constant contact with Epstein. He was somebody that Epstein had influenced and coaxed Epstein into donating millions upon millions of dollars to Harvard University. I mean, in excess of $9 million. Okay. This is the kind of stuff that was happening. And you found yourself saying, oh, damn. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that's exactly what you should be thinking. It should be, oh, damn. Because that's just the first shoe to drop. Why is Larry Summers?
I caught that this morning, and it's kind of what we are all thinking. There's going to be Republicans. There's going to be big money donors for the Republicans. The unfortunate thing that will happen is even people that didn't do or have any intent to do anything wrong are going to be dragged through the mud. That was some of the Republicans' concerns, the way the bill, you heard Mike Johnson talk about it. Somebody that was innocent, businessman. Hey, when you got somebody rich like Jeffrey Epstein investing, you accept an investor's money, you communicate through them with email because you're a business guy, right? It's just like if there's somebody else, that I'm communicating with because they're out grabbing content that I'm using on the show or something like this. I don't know what their personal life is. I don't know what they're doing. There's going to be some of that, and that's the unfortunate part, but it's going to be epic. It's going to be epic. I have a feeling I agree with him, and I kind of mentioned that yesterday. Like, this is probably going to explode, maybe backfire. We'll have to see. I wanted to show you guys something. You guys know I tell you guys, if you're going to purchase anything, whether it's for Christmas or anything else, a lot of people purchase from TikTok. And believe it or not, it's better than purchasing from Amazon because you are actually helping people out. There's a lot of small businesses on TikTok, and we've gotten into that We have, if you guys want to purchase anything on TikTok, always, if you find something and it's not in our showcase on TikTok, just email me. I'll add it and we get the credit for selling it. But they'll give you samples, and it's hard to get samples. They give samples based on your content creativity. Well, I'm MAGA. And so I applied for this one to get a sample. And yesterday the mail came in and I got an email, your sample's there. And of course it had to do a little bit with MAGA. Check this out. This was interesting. I just want to show you, not selling it. If you guys want it, you can obviously go to our TikTok and go to our showcase. But it's called The Birth of Jesus as narrated by your favorite president. And it's a book, and it gives you some of the Bible story, and it's narrated by Donald Trump. And I want you guys to hear this.
Hey kids, it's me, Donald Trump, with the best story ever. A long time ago in a little town called Bethlehem, very nice place, something big happened. God had a super plan for two amazing people, Mary and Joseph. They were about to get big news.
So you go page by page, and there was just some in here, like when he's talking about the way Trump speaks. Listen to this one.
So the government, Roman government, not the best, honestly, tells everyone they have to go to their hometowns for a census. A census is counting people, very official, lots of paperwork. Mary and Joseph have to travel to Bethlehem by donkey, even though Mary's very pregnant.
So you go page by page. I was reading this with Caden last night, and the story's accurate, but it's put in, I guess you could say, Donald Trump verbiage and his thing. So let me see if there was one. We'll go to.
He said to the wise men, "Go find Jesus so I can worship him too." Total lie, folks. King Herod, so dishonest, maybe the most dishonest king we've ever seen, believe me. He planned to get rid of Jesus. Herod wanted to be the only king.
I just thought it was absolutely great. I want to share. Rachel thought it was absolutely epic. But just I got it as a sample. Let's move on now. Communist mayor of New York City, Zoran Mamdani, has asked for a meeting. This is from Donald Trump, and I want to show you some stuff. It says, asked for a meeting. We have agreed that this meeting will take place at the Oval Office on Friday, November 21st. Further details to follow. So this is kind of interesting. We're going to go through this a little bit and talk about this. Kind of some interesting stuff on here. If you don't know who Zoran is the communist who lied to the voters. Said, this is going to be free. We're going to supply this. We're going to do that. Take a look at this. A little bit of calling out, I guess you will. And then we'll get into some more stuff.
And the other one, you're talking about fast and free buses and you're meeting with the governor. I've heard you talk about many times that you don't want to take money away from the MTA. You want to put money back in. It's something that she agrees with, right? We don't want to take away money from the MTA. How are you getting that money, the $700 million to make the buses free, into the MTA if she's not for raising taxes?
You know, I think that the two clearest ways to raise that money is through the raising of the state's corporate tax to match that of New Jersey. I think that a lot of this is still a case to be made, whether it's the corporate tax or whether it's the personal income tax on those who make more than $1 million a year or more. I think that these are the clearest ways. I've also said that if there are other ways to raise this funding, the most important fact is that we fund it, not the question of how we do it, but that we do it.
Makes a lot of sense. We're going to fund something we have no money for. This is what communists do. This is why people will flee New York. He wants to raise the corporate tax rate. The governor said no. Everything that he promised, folks. And he's still asking for donations, by the way. He wants $4 million in like the next few weeks. He's raised $1 million so far, but I want you to listen to this really quick.
The other one, you're talking about fast and free buses and you're meeting with the governor. I've heard you talk about many times that you don't want to take money away from the MTA. You want to put money back in. It's something that she agrees with, right? We don't want to take away money from the MTA. How are you getting that money, the $700 million, to
How are you getting the $700 million?
make the buses free into the MTA if she's not for raising taxes?
You know, I think that the two clearest ways to raise that money is through the raising of the state's corporate tax to match.
So something that she said no to.
She said no.
New Jersey. I think that a lot of this is still a case to be made, whether it's the corporate tax or whether it's the personal income tax on those who make more than $1 million a year or more. I think that these are the clearest ways. I've also said that if there are other ways to raise this funding, the most important fact is that we fund it.
Oh, that sounds like a Democrat, man. That is absolutely your typical Democrat. So obviously, we're gonna play something right here. Two different videos. This is New York City Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani speaking about his upcoming meeting with President Trump. Take a listen here. Take a listen here.
Tomorrow to meet with. I will be heading to Washington, D.C. tomorrow to meet with President Trump in the White House. It is customary for an incoming mayor of this city to meet with the White House, given the mutual reliance. It's more critical than ever, given the national crisis of affordability, one that New Yorkers know very well across these 5 boroughs, and the specific challenge many cities are facing with balancing public safety against steps taken by this administration. I know that for tens of thousands of New Yorkers, this meeting is between two very different candidates who they voted for the same reason. They wanted a leader who would take on the cost of living crisis that makes it impossible for working people to afford living in this city. My team reached out to the White House to set up this meeting because I will work with anyone to make life more affordable for the more.
I will work with anyone. I want you to think about this. A little bit different, but to get elected to where he's elected at now, right? Or to be elected.
Than 8.5 million people who call this city home. I have many disagreements with the president. And I believe that relentless and pursue all avenues and all meetings that could make our city affordable for every single New Yorker. I intend to make it clear to President Trump that I will work with him on any agenda that benefits New Yorkers. If an agenda hurts New Yorkers, I will also be the first to say so.
So it's kind of interesting. People might be listening to that and said, what happened to the guy that was running for election? And we have a side-by-side comparison right here, just to give you an idea.
That could make our city affordable for every single New Yorker.
Put this right here, and we'll put this on the screen for you. I just love this. I just love this.
My administration would be Donald Trump's worst nightmare. I have many disagreements with the president, and I believe that we should be relentless and pursue all avenues and all meetings that could make our city affordable for every single New Yorker. I intend to make it clear to President Trump that I will work with him on any agenda that benefits New Yorkers.
Well, that's not true, because one thing that would benefit New Yorkers, the legal residents of New York, is the illegal alien problem they are faced with there. That we've covered extensively. We've even been there. But it's kind of interesting how that shifted, right? His campaign promises, I hate Trump, I'll get Trump, we're going after Trump, very similar to other New York politicians, if you will. And then he's reached out to Trump. That's going to be interesting. I can't wait to cover that tomorrow. That's going to be very, very interesting. Donald Trump absolutely hates communists. These people want to bring communism. If you look, the Democrat Socialist of America, the Revolutionary Communist, all those. And I bet you Zoran wears a diaper because he's going to piss himself. Listen to Scott Jennings, what he said with about Mamdani. Take a listen to this. You gotta love this on the panel. Here we go.
Meeting with Trump and Mamdani.
Well, I'm glad Mayor-elect Mamdani is going because he's never had a job before. So Trump is going to have an opportunity now to explain to him how the world works. Number one, you're not going to be arresting Prime Minister Netanyahu
You
when
can't
he
say he's
comes to
never
New
had a
York
job
City. So
before,
you can
Scott.
put that
Had
out
a
of your
job.
mind.
Yeah.
Number two, you need to cooperate with federal law enforcement and federal immigration when we come into the city to try to enforce existing federal immigration law. So you need to put that out of your mind as well. I hope the president explains to him how the world works. We have federal laws and we have international diplomacy, and those things are handled by the president, not the mayor of New York City.
Meeting with Trump and
Amen. Amen. It's going to be an interesting one, to say the least. It's going to be pretty epic. Pretty epic. What else do we got here? Okay. I wanna play the video first. I gotta move this around. So last night we covered the treasonous traitors, the Democrats who are encouraging the military and intelligence agencies to work against Trump. Trump's calling that sedition. Let me play that video.
Americans
first,
trust their military.
And then we're going to show you what Trump tweeted and what's got Democrats in an outrage.
Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Luzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy. Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
and the intelligence community
who take risks each day to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now. Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk. This administration is pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens. Like us, you all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad,
but from right here at home. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law or our Constitution.
We know this is hard and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
the Army,
or Navy,
the Air Force,
your vigilance is critical.
And know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
the American people need you. We need you to stand up for our laws,
our Constitution,
and who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
Don't give up the ship. So we know that Trump hasn't done anything to violate the Constitution. Now, these same Democrats have lied to you and say Trump's breaking the Constitution or breaking his oath because he is deporting illegal aliens. That is actually part of upholding the oath to the Constitution. And they have made many other claims. They've tried to delay and sue him numerous times. And when it gets to the Supreme Court, the supreme law of the land, Trump wins. Well, he truthed out this, and this is making its rounds. I kind of love it. This one, it says, this is really bad and dangerous to our country. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors. Lock them up. President Donald J. Trump. Then he goes and tweets, seditious behavior, punishable by death. So once again, that is the penalty for sedition. We heard about it when we were talking about J6. They had no problem saying if you were taking a tour of the Capitol on January 6th, you should be put to death. Many of them. I agree with this. We've talked about this numerous times. We've talked about the punishments many decades ago versus punishments today. There is no punishments today. We see politicians especially get away with so much stuff that's illegal. And, oh, well, we know they did this. They know they spied here. This FBI director was doing this. And seems like all we do is hear that they did wrong, and we don't get to see the punishment. If you guys remember, I'm kind of old school. I would like to see the meeting in Town Square, if you would. I got to be careful of everything I say. But Trump put that, and it's kind of interesting. You have these leftist accounts, these influencer accounts, and the things they're saying right now is laughable. Trump is now calling for the death penalty for his opponents. Impeach. So right there, I think that's an admission of guilt. He didn't say anything about his opponents. He said seditious behavior punishable by death. And instantly they all say, he's talking about the Democrat opponents. Why would you be thinking that? I don't know. We have other ones here, and we'll talk about the Democrats. The Democrat actual X page put this out. Trump just called for the death of Democrat elected officials. He literally truthed out seditious behavior punishable by death. This is beautiful. This reminds me, like in California, when we get a Republican that puts in a bill to stop sex trafficking or to stop the sexual abuse of minors. And Scott Wiener instantly comes out and says, they're targeting the LGBT community. That's what we're seeing here. That's what we're seeing here. Take a listen to this. This was a statement from Hakeem Jeffries, Dollar Store Obama. He put, Donald Trump should keep his reckless mouth shut. Oh. It says, statement by leader Jeffries, Whip Clark, Chair Aguilar on Donald Trump's death threats against Democratic members. I love these people. They can call for the killings of ICE agents and federal law enforcement for celebrate the assassination of Charlie Kirk. But oh my God, Trump tells you what the punishment is for sedition, and you're all up in arms. It says political violence has no place in America. Representatives Jason Crow, Chris Deluzio, Maggie Goodlander, and Chrissy Houlihan, and Senator Mark Kelly, Elisa Slotkin all served our country with tremendous patriotism and distinction. We unequivocally condemn Donald Trump's disgusting and dangerous death threats against members of Congress and call on Republicans to forcefully do the same. Donald Trump, listen, incited a violent attack on the Capitol on January 6th as part of a treacherous attempt to overturn the results of a 2020 presidential election. The president's violent and unhinged rhetoric against American patriots is consistent with his well-documented history of attacking prisoners of war, Gold Star families, and war heroes. There is no bottom when it comes to Donald Trump. We have been in contact with the House Sergeant of Arms and the United States Capitol Police to ensure the safety of these members and their families. Donald Trump must immediately delete these unhinged social media posts and recant his violent rhetoric before he gets someone killed. I think it's hilarious. As a person that wears a MAGA hat quite often, there's been calls from city members of Congress and senators to come after me, to take it to the streets, to fight me. We look at the political violence, and whether it's Tesla fire bombings, whether it's illegal alien detainees being sniper shot and killed at an ICE facility, whether it's these people not allowing federal officers to do their jobs. You want to talk about treasonous? Treasonous is flying to El Salvador to have a margarita with an MS-13 human trafficker. That's treasonous. That's traitorous. Please spare me. You're looking for something once again as a distraction because the Epstein files are finally coming out. That's what this has to do with. And I'm going to show you really quick. Let me see if I can find this one. What was it? Oh, let me look at this video right here. I played this last night, but I want to show you again because I think it was Fox News. Jason Crow went on Fox News and asked, can you give us some examples of Trump asking these people to do illegal, unconstitutional things? And he goes back to Lafayette Square, a comment Trump made. Not ordering. Again, it's the president. He can give a direct order anytime he wants. But again, they have nothing. This is part of their game. Don't give up this ship. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Let me put it under something else. That was Jason Crow, I believe.
Are you talking about that's being broken? And then you said that he's implying that he might do something that they wouldn't want to uphold or follow through with in the future. What are you talking about specifically?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking. Well, number one, the protests at Lafayette Square in the first Trump administration where he said, can't you just shoot them? Can't you just shoot them in the legs or something? That's his direct quote. And of course, the then chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
That was not a military order. That was a comment.
That's a comment, not a military order. Listen to this again. And I would agree. These people that are violent, true insurrectionists.
What are you talking about specifically?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking. Well, number one, the protests at Lafayette Square in the first Trump administration where he said, can't you just shoot them? Can't you just shoot them in the legs or something? That's his direct quote. And of course, the then chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
That was not a military order. That was a comment. That's not a military order.
When that's coming from the president of the United States to your generals, don't you think that's a request?
I'm asking specifically
number two,
what you're talking about.
Yeah, number two, he's also threatened to send the military into Chicago and other cities to, quote, go to war with those cities.
All fake propaganda. He said he would have to send the cities. It's the cities that have asked for a civil war against our federal government. Look at what happened in LA. They called on protesters to go in the street and fight federal law enforcement. The governor of California, the mayor, Karen Bass, the communist. I mean, you want to play these games? He made a comment, why can't you shoot them? That was in his last presidency, and now they're just coming out with a video. They are treasonous traitors. They are seditionists. And I've said this before. I don't think we can depend, regardless who's in presidency, of our government handling and holding these people accountable. It's obviously hasn't happened. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen, which is scary because when vigilante justice comes, and we know through history it will, between civil war in our country, civil war in foreign countries, I would rather just avoid that completely. And these people that have broken the law, these people that have constantly gone against our Constitution, if you're going to be honest, they're Democrats. Putting illegal aliens ahead of American citizens, nothing our founders would have thought. Oh, these people, if you've worked and paid taxes here, guess what? You're screwed. Your money's going to go to people that broke into your country. Those are not thy neighbors, folks. Gandalf says, Josh, you tell it like it is. Thank you, Gandalf. Appreciate your support. Thank you for that Rumble rant. We appreciate you guys supporting us. We are 100% viewer funded. If you guys want to help us out, super chats, Rumble rants. We also have donation links that pop up. We have Venmo at Oreo Josh on the bottom. We have our Give Send Go. We also have Cash App, which is $ Oreo Army. You guys keep the lights on, keep gas in the tank, and keep our hotel rooms funded when we travel. And we just want to say thank you. Thanks again, Gandalf. It means the world that we can keep doing this. Just insane. Listen to another trader over here. Listen to, it said, Chris Murphy said the president of the United States just called for Democratic members of Congress to be executed. Hang them, he posted. Oh, that's another post I'll show you. He did put that. Let's see. I thought I had that one up, but I'm. Now, again, if you go back through history, when I talk about town squares, that's what they did. He retruthed this part right here. When they were talking about these treasonous traitors, it says, hang them, George Washington would. And it says, Donald J. Trump retruth. I think Donald Trump is done with the shenanigans. This doesn't surprise me. He's always taught truth. And listen to, once again, Chris Murphy.
Of the Constitution. The President of the United States,
about democracy and the Constitution and the Democrat Party. That's like Jeffrey Dahmer speaking about being a vegetarian.
President of the United States just called for Democratic members of Congress to be executed. This is not normal. We cannot allow this to feel normal. This, as far as I know, has never happened before.
Oh,
history of the country. Every Democratic member of the Senate and the House, their life is in jeopardy right now, especially those that were specifically targeted by this social media post. Democratic senators and House members who were simply saying that no member of the military should act illegally or in violation of the Constitution.
And then asked why they would do that. Give us one reason why you would try to encourage our military members and our intelligence agencies to go against President Trump. They couldn't come up with one, and now they're getting called out.
The President of the United States just called for members of Congress to be executed. If you are a person of influence in this country, maybe it's time to pick a fucking side. If you are a Republican in Congress, if you are a Republican governor, maybe it's time to draw a line in the sand and say that under no circumstances should the President of the United States be calling on his political opposition to be hanged.
He never said his political opposition. He says sedition is punishable by death. They're openly admitting they're seditionists.
A very dangerous moment right now. The president is engaged in the wholesale incitement, endorsement, and rationalization of political violence in this country. This is a very slippery slope that we are on. This is a moment for people to step up, for Republicans to step up, for business leaders to step up. Anybody who has a voice or a soapbox in this country needs to draw a line in the sand and say that it is not acceptable for the President of the United States to call on the murder of his political opposition.
They're so good at playing the victim. Everything's poor me, poor me. When they're calling Trump a Nazi and trying to incite violence, saying, hey, we can justify violence. Wouldn't you guys take out a Nazi? Wouldn't you guys take out Hitler? Wouldn't that be the right thing to do? Oh my God. Trump is having an event at Madison Square Garden just like Hitler, just like the Nazis. If you see them in the streets, if you see them in the stores, go after them. Democrat. I could play an hour. I could play probably a 12-hour live stream of all the calls to violence against conservatives. It is beyond laughable, folks. It is beyond laughable. And we'll probably have more on this over in the next show. We do another show, should be around 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern. So yesterday in our in our premium show yesterday evening, and thank you for all those joining us on premium. DOJ charges. I'm going to put this up right here, and It says DOJ charges Congressman Sheila Cheerfulness McCormick, a Democrat out of Florida, with stealing $5 million in FEMA funds, laundering the proceeds, and then using the money to support her 2021 congressional campaign. She faces up to 53 years in prison if convicted. According to the DOJ indictment, the indictment alleges that the defendant conspired to steal that $5 million that routed it through multiple accounts to disguise its source. Prosecutors allege that a substantial portion of the misappropriated funds was used as candidate contributions to her congressional campaign and for the personal benefit of the defendants. The indictment further alleges that she and Nadij LeBlanc, 46, of Miramar, arranged additional contribution using straw donors, funneling other monies from the FEMA-funded COVID-19 contract to friends and relatives who then donated to the campaign as if using their own money. The indictment also charges her and her 2021 tax preparer, David K. Spencer, 41, of Davie, with conspiring to file a false federal tax return. According to the indictment, they falsely claimed political spending and other personal expenses as business deductions and inflated charitable contributions in order to reduce her tax obligations. If you weren't here last night, we put up multiple screenshots where she was going after Donald Trump, saying nobody is above the law. Not even a president is above the law. She had multiple posts on X about that. And once again, she is now finding out. And then it was introduced today, Democrat Rep. Sheila Cheerfulness McCormick is now facing expulsion from the House after being indicted for stealing $5 million in FEMA funds. It says, Rep. Greg Stube, on second thought, I have decided to skip the censure and move straight to expulsion. It says she needs to be swiftly removed from the House before she can inflict any more harm on Congress, her district, and the state of Florida. I'll be filing the resolution today. If she refuses to resign and save Congress the embarrassment of having to expel her, I will bring the resolution to the floor for a vote. And there's that resolution right there, next to that little smirk that I bet you is wiped off her face right now. And again, we've been talking about it. We talked about the beginning of the show in Minneapolis, the autism treatment centers, a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse. And Trump administration promised to go after it. $5 million, folks. $5 million. And she was out there tweeting that nobody is above the law. How about this one? We talked about it. I think it was Monday. It was Monday or Tuesday. Today's Thursday. I think Tuesday in the morning show, we've talked about it, that they're going after employers now that are hiring these these illegal aliens as laborers. This one is accused of using 250 illegal aliens to make a whole lot of money while laundering money. Take a look at this one, another fraud case. Let's put this up on the board for you.
This is the business in question that has a Metro Detroit couple in hot water with federal investigators.
It's not just simply an immigration case that's charged, it's also money laundering.
And these are the federal documents investigators say detail the inner workings of the plumbing empire built by Moises Orduña Rios and his wife Raquel over a 5-year period. The Plymouth Township couple owned Orduña Plumbing, Manpower Supply, and allegedly hired undocumented workers, took their passports, and crammed them into tight living quarters. These photos from the criminal complaint. The federal complaint focuses on Rochester, New York, but Michigan, Ohio, and North Carolina are also mentioned as places the company operates. According to the complaint, out of 253 workers, only 6 were in the U.S. legally and permitted to work. The complaint claims the husband and wife generated $74 million in their plumbing business that was based out of Michigan.
So whenever you use money that is unlawful and you deposit it into a bank and you manipulate the banking system, that's money laundering. And that's what the government's alleging here.
Former federal prosecutor Matthew Schneider reviewed the 27-page complaint, which mentions investigators interviewing the workers on numerous occasions and the company's use of the WhatsApp messaging app.
In this case, you've got physical evidence, statement of the people arrested, and the government was listening to the communications of the defendants. So you actually have all three of those things. And whenever you have a criminal defendant speaking and being recorded, and the government has that evidence, that's extremely powerful, and the burden on that is really hard to overcome.
The company headquarters is in Plymouth Township, where we stopped to see if anyone was present who could speak to the allegations. No one was there. We then went next door.
It's pretty crazy how big the operation was, with very little activity that was there.
Jeff Goebbels, a golf pro, runs his business in an adjacent office space. He said he'd see about 3 people in and out of the office, and he's stunned by the allegations.
Yeah, it's kind of frightening that they could get that deep. It just looked like a normal business that I didn't see a lot of work trucks coming in and out, but that it was that detailed with the immigration issues that are going on today, it's pretty interesting.
The couple, whose address comes back to this $1.5 million mansion in Plymouth Township, were released Tuesday on conditions after appearing in Michigan Eastern District Court. The couple's next court date is scheduled for December 2nd in New York.
Woo-wee. That's not going to... More fraud. And then using illegal aliens. That's how they got rich, and paying them pennies when they... wouldn't have that 1.5. I mean, they could have that $1.5 million house if they just did it legally. But it's much easier to commit fraud and pocket millions of dollars. How about this? Greg Bovino out there in North Carolina. I want you to listen to what he says about Charlotte, North Carolina.
Concerning, but we care.
Do you guys feel safe?
Let's get this up on the board right here.
Do you guys feel safe?
The level of violence is certainly something that I've not seen before. As you saw in one of your earlier clips, one of the Border Patrol agents out there said that it was the worst he had seen in 26 years. I agree with that. The level of violence that we're seeing is unprecedented. Just today, we had Border Patrol agents rammed by a vehicle, actually rammed twice by a vehicle. And a 4,000-pound missile like that is not a fun thing to go up against, nor gunshots, physical assaults, and many other things. So it's certainly concerning, but we carry on with the mission. In the U.S. Border Patrol, ICE, and those allied law enforcement partners, we go hard and we accomplish the mission legally, ethically, and morally. And whatever city we're in, wherever we're at, whether it's Charlotte, Chicago, Los Angeles, or anywhere else, the illegal aliens and bad guys are going to jail and they're going to be deported.
Amen. Unfortunately, we've been going through a whole hell of a lot in this country. And we also covered, and I just wanted to, this was a new one from DHS. We also covered yesterday that 20% of Charlotte school district students are not showing up. 20%, folks. They had classrooms with 16 people, only 4 showed up. This goes to show you when they try to pay for a private school, tell me how much that is. And then they say, well, some of these illegals pay taxes. The burden on the U.S. taxpayer, on the U.S. citizen student is beyond belief, guys. Take a listen to this one.
Lay the blame on those, first of all.
Let me get it up on the screen here. There we go.
There's been no time during the Trump administration that there has ever been an operation conducted on a school. So that's just the facts for you. The media doesn't want to tell you that, and neither do these activists. But let's also point to the facts where 20% of some of the largest school districts in Charlotte, in the United States, really, 20% of these students are not showing up. And that's a large indicator that they are likely in this country illegally. And keep in mind, these American taxpayer dollars, they're finite. We only have so many resources for American students. So the fact of the matter is 20% of that student population being potentially in the country illegally. It means teachers can't focus on students who are falling behind. failing test scores, truancy, things that we really need to be focusing on. And we don't lay the blame at those students' feet. We blame it on the politicians who have enabled it, who have incentivized those in this country illegally to be prioritizing mass illegal immigrants instead putting American students and their success on the back burner.
They all put
American students, American success on the back burner, and that's what we're seeing. That is 100%. Homeland Security also tweeted this out. We've been saying this for quite a while. I'm going to read through it. Take a look at this. Rent is too high. There are tens of millions of criminal illegal aliens in our countries. Groceries cost too much. There are tens of millions of criminal illegal aliens in our country. There aren't enough jobs. There are tens of millions of criminal illegal aliens in our countries. Women don't feel safe walking down the street. There are tens of millions of criminal illegals in our country. Traffic is terrible. There are tens of millions of criminal illegals in our country. Healthcare is too expensive. There are tens of millions of criminal illegals in our country. Welfare spending is through the roof. There are tens of millions of criminal illegals in our country. I can't afford a car. There is tens of millions of criminal illegals in our country. I can't afford a house. There are tens of millions of criminal illegals in our country. Many problems, a simple answer. Again, so far, a little over 2 million people have either self-deported, left the country from their overstayed visas, or they were here illegally, or been deported by the Trump administration. And in what month are we in now? November, in the 9-10 months. So that number is much, much lower than we need, but it's a lot higher than we've ever seen before. Let's see what else is going on. I think that was, let me see if I missed anything over here. And thank you, Gandalf, for your Rumble rant earlier, sir. Appreciate it. We got to put this one up. Gavin Newsom. On Transgender Day of Remembrance, California mourns and honors all the trans and gender nonconforming people taken by us by violence and discrimination. In California, hate is never tolerated. We will always defend the freedom, equality, and dignity of all people. Another holiday, I think another holiday for the Alphabet Mafia. Let's see, it's all about Trump's messaging. Oh no, we got New York Attorney General Letitia James talking about Trans Day of Remembrance as well. But hey, I think that's it, guys. Don't forget, we would like to do some police calls. It's already tomorrow. It's Thursday, so tomorrow night. I don't know if we'll do 2 shows tomorrow or probably just one, depending on the news cycle, because we are working on doing police calls, getting a rental car for one day. So if you guys want to help out with just gas and the rental car and food for me and Roberto tomorrow night. It is a Friday night. We chased police calls. What night was it? Monday night? I think it was Monday. We want to get a weekend one going. So if you guys, your donations, and it has to be on Venmo, Cash App, or our Zelle, because we get those funds. If it's Rumble takes about 11 days before we can get the money. So it's always faster to do Venmo, Cash App, or Zelle. Those links will come up on the screen as we exit. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And we will see you around 3 o'clock today, Pacific time. And have a good afternoon. And we will see you guys shortly. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael, for the Venmo.
Well, hop aboard the Oreo Express, where truth don't hide and we don't second guess. unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land.